100 yard dash, got it on smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, they will not stop me. Tenfold, copy, end zone, watch me celebrate. I'm cocky, I do my dance, jump in the stands. No man, oh deal with the hands. Thought he could guard me, I ruin they plans. I do what I want, they do what they can. Got it on smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, 100 yard dash, 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 yeah. They can't catch up cause they lacking the stamina. Way too advanced to be playing with amateurs. Stay on attack when they tackle like damager. They react and play it back on the camera. Hot boy, just consider me flammable. Sure shot, I got all the intangibles. Need a leash, I'm a beast, I'm an animal. Heat the competition up like a Hannibal. Know the game like I wrote up the manual. I do weekly what you do on the annual. MVP, that decision unanimous. Hit dials, I don't think they can handle it. Battlefield, it's just me and my warriors. Guaranteed we emerge victorious. Years, blood, sweat, tears, is glorious. I remember when they always ignoring us. Dash, got it on smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, they will not stop me. Tenfold, copy, end zone, watch me celebrate. I'm cocky, I do my dance, jump in the stands. No man, oh deal with the hands. Thought he could guard me, I ruin they plans. I do what I want, they do what they can. Got it on smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, 100 yard dash, 100 yard dash, 100 yard dash, 100 yard dash, 100 yard dash. They slept on the team that they owe me. I need a ring and a trophy. I say I'm the best cause I am. It's no need in keeping it low-key. I can carve for the D like a turkey, or run straight through the D like a train. This year we ain't taking no losses. It's all about making the game. I hear a lot of trash talk. He call himself making a name. I put on the Jets, the coach will regret even letting them stay in the game. Team around took a tumble. Next time be humble. I'm the lion in the jungle. You just trying not to fumble. Rumble, young man, rumble. Never slip nor stumble. I take off, poof, magic. Now watch me juke through the traffic. Footwork fantastic. Dominating every facet. Treat the pocket like plastic.
Hello, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports.
All right, thanks, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Coming up, we've got what should prove to be a good one between the Green Bay Packers and the Houston Texans.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. First carry of the ball game now. It's C.J. Anderson. 4 yards the result on the first play from scrimmage. 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
From the 39, Brissett hits his target. It's Taylor Gabriel. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. 11 yards and a Green Bay Packer first down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
They run again on 1st down. Anderson. And he's taken down inside the 30. Give him 10 there. Good enough for a Packer first down. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
They didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. From the gun, here's Brissett. Making the catch is Sternberger. And that play goes nowhere. He's met behind the line, and a penalty flag may add insult to injury. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
And the 12-year veteran knocks it right through. And the Packers are off to a 3-0 lead. Able to move the ball on that drive. Yes, just 3 points, but 4 first downs were in there.
Yeah, and you can look at it and feel pretty good about the whole thing and think, okay, this should continue throughout this ball game. On the flip side, if you're a defender, it's almost like, whew, we only gave up 3. They moved the ball on us pretty well.
Here we go. Hey, defense, let's go. Pick it up. Middle. 80. Check 3.
First carry for James Conner. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. This is Conner running right. Takes it to the 26, just a 1-yard gain.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
On 3rd down, Rosen. But when this ball's tipped and intercepted, Quincy Wilson with the INT. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line.
Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Now Anderson running right. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. A great effort there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run. And one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. They'll look to get something started. They need to, down 10-0 early as they've got it 1st and 10. Rosen on 1st and 10. Man open, that's Deebo Samuel. There he goes left side. Touchdown, Houston. Deebo Samuel, 77 yards. As his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
This fielded at the 2. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Here's Anderson as they begin this series on the ground. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, it's working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
CD, put on your OC cap here. What do you do? 2nd and 1, you get stuffed. Now 3rd and 1.
You know, in the old days, I would have said we're going to line up and we're going to run the same darn play and we're going to get it right. But nowadays, as tough as defenses are, I want some mobility. I want some movement, putting the ball in the hands of my quarterback and giving him a run-pass option. It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
It's a net of 40 there, a punt of 48, and a return of 8. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, we'll see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust. One of the feature points of the in route is being able to make a nice throw to the middle part of the field. And for a quarterback, that's one of the better throws and better looks that he'll get. But he has to be careful not to wait too long and let his receiver wander into some tough territory. If he's late with the ball, he can get his receiver hit and hit hard.
Now Rosen, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Defensive end gets in there that time. They were in a 4-3. What's the responsibility of the ends versus the tackles there, Charles?
Well, most of the time when you talk about the ends, they're your pass rushers. They're the guys that you turn loose to try and get to the guy who's going to throw the football. The tackles, usually more of the run-stuffing variety. But the way this game is advanced, you're wanting a little bit of everything out of all of your guys. But let's just go ahead and break it down and make it simple. The guy who's the right defensive end versus a right-handed quarterback, that's the blind side. He's going after the quarterback. He's going to put him on the ground.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Hurry!
To throw is Rosen. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
That's what I'm talking about. Sacks all day.
Well, they were coming out of the 4-3 defensively. Pressure coming off that right side from the DN.
And that's the blind side of most quarterbacks. If you're right-handed, that's the side you don't see quite as well. And that's why you rely on your left tackle, maybe your highest-paid offensive lineman, to take care of you. In this situation, that didn't happen. And he's got to be fired up about that effort. I don't think he could have walked down and placed it any better than where he ended up putting the football. That was excellent.
They start the drive with Anderson. And he'll get him a little bit of breathing room across the 5 to the 6-yard line. Solomon Thomas there on the tackle. A little more room here on 2nd and 6 from the 6. To throw is Brissett. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down. So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. From the shotgun, it's Brissett. And he's going to go down. He backed up into the end zone, and this is going to wind up a safety. Then, Charles, at some point, you can't keep worrying about big play. Can this be perfect? You just have to get the ball out of the end zone.
And in the offensive huddle, that was discussed when they called the play. Just get out of the end zone. But you know what's interesting? A lot of the times in the defensive huddle, they actually call a set and then say at the end of it, get a safety. So it's preached, it's coached, it's thought about.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. It's Connor as they stay on the ground. Now a flag comes in from the umpire after a gain of about 4. And this looks like it's going to be holding. That time the right guard sending him backwards.
And so many different types of guys rotate in on the defensive line now depending on situations. You can get the bulky guy, the fast guy. No matter what, though, he can't hold him.
Let's go, D. Tighten up. Shit. Watch the shit. Alert flare. 80. Shit. All right, here we go.
Off the play fake, here's Rosen. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Zadarius Smith in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? That's 3 sacks now, and this team came into the game in the bottom 5 in the league in sacks.
Yeah,
What's going on?
It's not been their bread and butter. I don't know. Is a blind squirrel finding a nut, or is this something they can build on?
Well, they found some momentum. They found a crack in that offensive line, and they're putting it to good use.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on first down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Hey, man, watch the boot, watch the boot. Hey, check 24, check 24.
Rosen will throw. This will be caught by Brown. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. A heck of a play there on 3rd down, but amazingly, they're still short for 4th.
I don't know how many times, not just in my playing career, but you and I working together, have we ever heard a coach say, you know, I just don't have that play on my call sheet. And that's really what we had here. That was a big hole they were trying to get out of.
Yeah, big gain, still a ways to go, though. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. And the good news, his team's winning. The bad news, he hasn't had the game that he's hoped to, at least to this point here in the 2nd quarter.
And a lot of that is pride, because these types of backs want to be in the center of all the action and leading their team to victory. They'll take the win right now, hoping to jump his game up as this one moves on.
Yeah, he probably wants a little bit more of the spotlight going forward. They'll wind up losing a full 10 yards on the play. So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Here's Brissett. And with a flag down, he goes down. So they're able to sack him. Now the penalty looks like it could be holding. Let's find out. So they will take the sack instead of the penalty.
And it takes another down off the series. But the biggest one of all, do you want to tell the guy who just got the sack that it no longer counts?
No.
No, not at all.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty.
Go!
Brissett sets to throw it. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Kaiser White. And he is not quite going to make it all the way in. They'll mark him down right about the 1-yard line. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards.
Check. I got it. Check. Monday. X3, 218, chopper.
They'll look to throw on 1st down with Josh Rosen. And Thomas has it. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Jordan Thomas, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Texans have taken the lead. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. Extra point by Marr, up and good. And that'll make this a 6-point game. This will be taken about the 12. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the 2nd quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game.
And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
Yeah, a few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. And he's going to be brought down back at his own 6-yard line. Charles, not to point fingers, but how much of this goes on the shoulders of the offensive line? Well, look at the 6 sacks last week. That's the 4th in this game.
Definitely the bulk of it does go on the offensive line. That's what they're tasked with doing, keeping their quarterback upright and clean in the pocket. But I think they have to look at, okay, are we bringing in extra people? Is the ball out of the quarterback's hands quick enough? A few other factors they have to.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Here's Rosen. Thomas has got it, complete. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans.
Switch. Check 61, matchbox, lights.
Throwing now, Rosen on 1st down. That's going to be caught by Samuel. A pickup of 11 and a Texans 1st down. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
They go play action here on 1st down. There goes a deep ball, end zone, and this is incomplete.
A lot of contact there, but there was no way it appeared that he was going to get a flag on that one. Looking for it, but he wasn't going to get it. And as an ex-defensive back, you love it when they let you play and jostle downfield.
Under 10.
On 2nd down, Connor looking for space. Only a yard on the pickup there, so it leaves him needing a conversion here on 3rd and a tough 9.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Mike 51. Watch the run.
Now Rosen looking to throw. He gets it to Thomas. And this is going to result in another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 21. Two minutes remaining in this first half of football. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. A solid run on 1st down, gain of 7, leaves them with a 2nd and 3. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3.
Check nickel. Monday.
And now it's Rosen looking left side and completing it to Thomas. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. It's an 8-yard pickup, and it leads to a 1st and goal. They'll run here with Connor. And he gets halfway there from the 6 to the 3 on a gain of 3. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 6. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts, as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number 1. This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? Now it's Rosen. That's caught. It's Thomas. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Jordan Thomas with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Texans push further out in front. Extra point by Marr, up and good. And the lead now stands at 13. A pretty long drive that time. 11 plays all told. And the result, a Houston touchdown. This one taken just inside the 10. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Packer offense now ready to get back onto the field.
And you're under a minute to go in the half, a first half that hasn't been particularly kind to you. How do you think they'll play this?
Well, I think the smart approach is to run out the clock, lick your wounds at the half, and see if you can come up with a strategy to play better in the second. But there's also something to challenging your offense right here. You know, hey, guys, you help dig this hole. See if you can get us out of it a little bit before the half runs out. Let's go make some plays.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards.
You got 3 down.
And this time they'll just keep this on the ground. And he's going to have a first down, but not sure it'll matter as the clock will continue to run.
Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. A first down throw for Brissett. And that one will fall incomplete. Clock here now just under 30 seconds to go in this first half.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Out of the gun, Brissett. Finding Gabriel, complete. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 42. And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. This will be spotted just shy of midfield, a 59-yard attempt. And this one will not get there. It's off to the left anyway. It's no good. So we've reached the intermission in what right now is a 13. And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. It's the Texans in front, and they're going to get the football first as we are back underway in the 3rd quarter. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. And now out comes Houston. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively.
8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2.
Watch the twist.
They stay on the ground. Here's Connor again. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially when we get deeper in the game.
Here's Rosen to throw. Got his target, Samuel. He went over 100 yards in the wild card round. He's over 100 here as well. And a first down.
Well, we always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Shows some confidence, supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did.
Here's Connor on first down going nowhere as he's going to be stacked up behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Adrian Amos with a pick. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Matt Ioannidis in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. But he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
62 yards on the punt that time. Wow. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Out comes a Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. 2nd and 5. And he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in the second half. Instead, it's 3rd down. They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass.
Check 49, check 49. Watch the safety creep. Hug.
They'll drop to throw. Pressure comes, and down goes Rosen. Zadarius Smith, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
That's his 2nd sack of the game, and the best defensive ends, they do their homework as much as offensive guys do. They know how to beat the offensive lineman across from them, what moves they need to do to set them up. This guy's been pretty good at it all game long.
37 yards on the punt with no return, and it'll be Packer football here. 1st down and 10. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Let's go, B, let's go.
Toss play. This is Anderson. And he'll grab a gain of 5 out of this up to the 41-yard line.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on 1st down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
And a quick throw here, that's complete. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that's going to bring up a 3rd down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. To throw, Brissett. And that will be incomplete.
And we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. And now out comes Houston. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself. I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Now on 2nd and 16, Rosen. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Hug. 36. Check.
To throw is Rosen. Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked off near the 26, and his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December.
Season of giving.
Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
On 2nd and 9, Brissett. And the pressure will get to him. He goes down. Now there is a flag on the play, but this looks like holding on the offense. So we race the flag. They decline it.
And did they use the big eraser, or was that the one at the end of the number 2 pencil?
Well, I was thinking the 2x2-inch ones that you can buy and use in addition to the pencil.
And those last for a
long time.
No doubt.
Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Solomon Thomas in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And he's going to miss this one. That is no good. Well outside the left upright. And this score will stay right where it is. Down here in the 3rd quarter, obviously that's one they could have used.
Yeah, one of my favorite special teams coaches in the NFL told me what separates the kickers in the NFL versus the ones who are not is not the misses. It's the second miss in a row. Best kickers in the league, they don't miss 2 in a row. He's got to get his head back together in case he gets another shot.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now Rosen got a man. It's Brown.
Sometimes the most effective routes are the ones that you run in the backyard, and you probably ran them when you were 5 years old. How about a little curl there against zone? But the key to it is finding the open spots in the zone. How a linebacker or a defensive back will widen to give you space. Find that area and let your quarterback hit you.
Back now in Houston. It's the Texans in control of the football and leading this game as well as we start the 4th.
Hey, team 6. 51 the mic. Hey, we're pretty quiet, D. We're pretty quiet. 51 the mic. 50.
Rosen on 1st and 10. That's into the hands of Reynolds. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Now a first carry for their fullback. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down. This is where, 4th quarter, you got the lead, you give it to the big guy. defensively kind of sucks the will out of them, doesn't it? Because they don't want to tackle him right now this late in the game.
Well, you say that with accusatory tones. I mean, but you're exactly right. I know it's not something we actually want to talk about, but as a defender, 4 quarters worth of trying to bring people down, 4 quarters worth of pounding, and now late in the game, here comes that big guy coming at you, and a lot of guys are wondering whether they want to come up and make that tackle at this stage of the game.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
Rosen will throw toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Kevin King, the former Washington Husky, there defensively. They'll try again here from the 7 on 2nd and goal. Here's a 2nd and 7. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. James Conner with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Texans push further out in front. Able to punch it in on 3rd down makes it easier for those guys on the sideline. They didn't have a 4th down decision to make.
Yeah, could you feel the exhale? Because they were already thinking ahead, as all the good coaching staffs do. Anticipating what we have to make the call. They already had it lined up. Never even got to it.
So the defense gets the stop. I know it's situation to situation, but who has more pressure there, offense or defense, when they go for 2?
I truly believe it's the defense has more pressure because the offense has an entire playbook wide open from the 2-yard line. You can run it, you can throw it. So defensively, I think most teams are going to be aggressive. And
the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. From the gun, here's Bissell. His throw incomplete. Devontae Adams, the intended receiver. But it's going to be 2nd down. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing
trying to get that to Adams, but that's intercepted. Picked off near the 34. And he will score. It's a touchdown. And that one will pretty much erase any hopes of a 4th quarter comeback.
With emphasis, interception, return for touchdown. Door closed, locked, reinforced.
Extra point by Marr, up and good. And that will bump the lead up to 26. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. After the pick 6, they go right back to the air. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off at about the 31. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears. Right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Now it's counter. He'll get it to the 23-yard line. 7 yards on the carry. Make it 3rd and 4 coming up.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there. I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter,
and the ball is knocked out. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. And last time, 1 play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give him a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, you got a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Now Brissett throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front.
And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off at the 45. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops. That is now 7 interceptions between last week and this week. 3 in this game, 4 a week ago.
And I saw the head coach write on his play sheet, make a little note. I hope he's writing self-scout. Bring in the guys that scout games for you with a different eye and watch him and see what's going on, and maybe they can pick up what the flaws are, and hopefully they can correct them.
Adrian Amos up to make the tackle. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. They'll keep it on the ground. Hubbard. And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
On 3rd down, it's Hubbard. And he's going to have the 1st down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on 3rd down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, 3rd down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here, 1st and 10. And now a first chance for the backup here to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
On second down now, it's Hubbard, and he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. They're down here in the fourth, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration, not a good play.
On the run is Connor, and they'll get this from the 8 to the 5. Pickup of 3.
Well, Brandon, we always know that once you score one touchdown,
you're two.
You're without a doubt. And so far today, he's got one, but was denied as he tried to get the second one.
Check 25, check 25. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Cover, cover. 93's the mic, 93's the mic.
That one looks like he'll throw here, and that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on third down. Well, they've been so good on third down all day long. Can they convert another here on 3rd and goal? Now a handoff here to his running back. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
Yeah, they are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. And now the Texans defense, they get ready here. They've played excellent. Another stop here, that would just be the icing on the cake.
You definitely want to finish things off the way it's gone throughout the day. And it's gone awfully well for them. They don't want to give up any type of a fluke, any type of a big play here. That'll leave a bad taste in their mouth as they go in and celebrate.
Yeah, they want that good cake taste, right?
No doubt about it. That's 6-layer cake.
A dump off to Anderson. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Second down pass play got him 8 yards. Now they've got a 3rd and a couple remaining. Throwing, Brissett. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Zach Cunningham with a pick. And that will write a finish to this ball game. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think